What's up, Boulder, Colorado?
It's been wonderful. It's been above reproach. It's been beautiful. It's been everything that I fathomed.
Today we've got several great news stories for you, so let's get started. Main story today is about something a Houston Texans NFL QB just said that caught Coach Prime's attention. Plus, we're going to talk about a tweet so brutal and mean that Coach Prime had to respond. Also, maybe a couple other great stories. So grab you some lobster tail, sit back, and get ready because this is the prime time for college football. Our first story today, we're going to talk about what an NFL QB had to say about one of Colorado's coaches. Now, recently, Houston Texans NFL QB Case Keenum said some surprising things about Colorado's new offensive coordinator, Pat Shurmer. He said he does an incredible job of tailoring the offense to whoever it is at QB. He's done it a lot of places. He's been a lot of places and called a lot of big games in big situations. He's run a lot of different types of offenses. Having his finger on the pulse of what the NFL is doing and where it's going, it's obviously turned into a throwers league, being able to know what's coming and what defenses are doing in college. Keenum went on to say, playing under Shurmer is going to be priceless for a guy like Shurmer, and that transition of making a jump to the next level. For those who don't know, Case Keenum is a journeyman NFL QB. He's bounced around to a lot of teams. But in the NFL, you can make some serious bank just being a second-string quarterback in the league. In fact, Keenum has earned over $51 million during his career in the league. I know a lot of times we think, oh, it's just a backup. Who cares about his opinion? This man's been paid $50 million and knows a thing or two about football. Hats off to Keenum, but I don't know about you guys. I'd be more than happy to be second or third fiddle in the NFL right now at any position. I might quit making videos if somebody would pay me to hold a clipboard that amount of money. But it is great to hear a guy that the league has valued that much talk highly of Coach Shurmer. There were all kind of doubters. There were all kind of questions when Coach Prime moved on from Sean Kelly. Oh, what's he doing? He can't control this. He doesn't know how to run a team. Why is he getting rid of this bright young mind? Blah, 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 blah. But nobody considered how good of an addition and how much Coach Shurmer could potentially help. Now, the proof will be in the pudding. What happens when toe meets leather in August? We'll find out a lot more then. But is this a move that helps Shurmer? And if a move helps Shurmer and a move helps your top quarterback, how much more does it end up helping your team? It's great to hear an NFL QB be excited about Shedeur Sanders' future under Pat Shurmer. Next up, we have a pretty exciting announcement for you guys. We started a new national channel. And I know a lot of you have favorite teams outside of just cheering for Coach Prime. I'm going to link that at the very end of the video and in the description. I recently did a video on the Michigan controversy that I think you'll enjoy. Go check that out. When this is done, it'll be linked at the end of the video. All right, let's talk about a mean tweet that Coach Prime recently responded to. Now, recently, a Twitter user by the name of Zach posted, "This blank is why y'all are going to miss a bowl game again. Hard to be the best QB when you are spoiled and ain't got that dang mentality that a lot of other rising QBs have." Now, this was in response to Coach Prime saying, "I'm so proud of all three of my sons, Deion, Shiloh, and Shedeur. They got an opportunity of a lifetime from Pharrell and Louis Vuitton to walk and film their premiere fashion show in Paris." Well, obviously, Zach's tweet caught Coach Prime's attention, so he responded with, "Love is much easier to manage than hate." What a great lesson to absolutely shut down somebody who attacks you and your family and your kids online. You can absolutely destroy a negative person with love. I'll tell you, I don't really care when people jump on me. I don't really care when people call me names or say things about me. It really doesn't matter. But every once in a while, you'll get those internet trolls that just go a little bit too far. And they'll talk about my wife or they'll talk about my kids. And I can look at a tweet that calls me out or calls me an idiot, and I can just scroll on by that. It's really not a big deal to me. But when I see stuff about my kids, I don't really respond because I just wouldn't respond in a very good way. But I get belligerent. I mean, any of you guys with kids out there know that, but I just take it to an extremely different level. And Coach Prime has the entire world watching him, and he's on the world stage, and he responds with grace and humility and love. And to me, that is just not something that I'm at the place where I could do right now. If somebody called out my kids, I couldn't handle it. Shout out to Coach Prime, who, again, reminds us that love does so much more than hate. Lastly, let's talk about a major achievement that Colorado running back Dylan Edwards just received. Now, recently, Edwards was added to Colorado's track and field roster as a sprinter. For those of you who are newer to Colorado, Edwards was a dual sport athlete in high school, and Coach Prime beat out Notre Dame for his commitment. He has known Coach Prime since childhood, where he coached him in Little League. He had an outstanding freshman season, catching the most receiving touchdowns by a freshman running back in 40 years. During the offseason, he's been focusing on improving his strength, working on speed, and he is expected to be a pretty dominant force for Colorado in the backfield. Obviously, in that TCU game, Edwards had some massive runs, but we'd really like to see that for 12 games next year. He has a chance with McCaskill back there as well to really be a 1-2 punch in that backfield. There were times he took off against TCU and was already in the end zone before TCU players had realized he'd even crossed the first down marker, right? Like, he was so fast. And if Colorado can get that consistently from him, that offense is going to be hard to stop. And I think they'll have a much better chance of it. We've talked about the improvements along the offensive line. We've talked about what we expect out of this offense and it to be really good this year, the first year in the Big 12. But if Edwards gets going, that thing could be on a different level. We expect that there will be a lot of success. We expect that they will be able to do a really good job. But man, if they can use his speed out in the open, pretty impressive and pretty special to see. You love to see the two-sport athletes, what that really means, more so than just being a incredibly gifted and talented athlete to play Division I and II or more sports, is honestly a work ethic and a really almost like a knowledge, a higher maturity level to be able to balance multiple sports, schoolwork, NIL, a social life, everything else, all at the same time. It's something that gets overlooked. You just think about how good the athlete is, and you're not really thinking about, man, how impressive it is as a human, as a person, to be able to pull that off. So shout out to Edwards. It's really special over on the track and field team, again, as a sprinter. His speed is electric. You guys saw it against TCU, and hopefully we see it break out in all 12 games and beyond in this 2024 season. Now, again, I told you guys about something new that we started. If you want to just show some support, if you want to hear my take on some national things, we'll put some Coach Prime stuff over there from time to time, so go check it out. You can click the video on the screen right now to get over to College Football Addiction. I talked about Jim Harbaugh, all the controversy there. I know we keep it Coach Prime here. I want to keep it separate, but make sure that you go subscribe over there if you want to show some support. And we appreciate you guys for tuning in to the prime time for college football.